Hey Yogi Babes, this yoga class today, our Explore Flow, is going to set the foundation of common yoga poses that we'll go through for the next 30 days of yoga. Not only are we exploring poses and postures of yoga, but we're exploring the transition and how we as individual practitioners get from pose to pose, our typical flow, vinyasa flow. So join me first as we recline on back, exploring movement here from reclined. And again, I want you to keep in mind that we're being that much more intentional with our movement over these tiny classes, these bite-sized yoga classes, 10 to 15 minutes. So here from recline, take a big full body stretch, palms overhead, point and flex your toes, reach for that imaginary rope here atop of you, and then exhale, palms at your sides. One more full body stretch, reach. Exhale and release your palms at your sides. Bring your knees to your forehead, hug everything in. Simply awakening here with full body stretches, taking a counter pose, hugging everything in. So do that one more time, a full body stretch. Take up as much space as you want. Another breath, hug everything in, get tiny here. Forehead to knees. Simply releasing left leg long, hug right knee in. Opposite side, both knees toward your forehead, releasing right leg long. Left knee hugs in. For my yogis who want to stay active here, leave your heel of the extended leg just to a hover atop your mat. You can also raise your arms overhead or out in front of you if you're looking for something a little more active, yeah? So one more time. Hug knee toward chest, proud chest forward. Opposite side, exploring this movement here. What sensation comes up for you? Maybe in the core, yeah? I know mine's talking to me, my belly's talking to me here. Hug everything in. Crisscross your ankles, recline on back, and rock your hips side to side. We're gonna rock and roll up to seated, and part of class today, again, is simply exploring whether or not this movement works for you on your mat. You can always, we're coming to seated, so you can always roll over to one side, gently pushing yourself up with your top palm, or rock and roll. One up and back. Another, and one more. Up to seated. Nice work, guys. Here from seated, join me as you rock your head from side to side. So again, take note, yogis, if you hold tension here through neck and jaw, this is your prime time to let it go. Rock your head side to side. Drop your head back, chin to chest. And then join me as you place your palms at heart center, elongate here like you've got that marionette string, that puppet string pulling you up. Shoulders soften down your back. Palms to heart, take wrist circles here. So considering the whole body as a system, of course, we want to show love to our joints, our wrists, our ankles. So I really want to explore, feel into that movement with you here today. Palms meet at your low back. Gently pull your palms down your back, baby back bend, look up. And drop your palms over to the right, ear over to the right-hand side. A deep breath. Grow heavy through your left shoulder. Palms down through your back, low back, look up. Opposite side. Gentle neck stretch here as your head and your palms fall over to the left. Grow heavy through right shoulder, a counterweight. Nice work. Palms down your low back. Inhale, look up, baby back bend. Exhale, release. Simply goal post your arms, yogis, opening up through the front of our chest. And we'll dive forward here for a child's pose. Again, so many of my students find a different way to come to child's pose. Rocking and rolling forward, or windshield wipering your legs from side to side, yeah? And again, here in child's pose, explore what you like best. Personally, I like to bring my thighs and my knees together, sink hips to heels, and even grab for my heels or extend my arms out long. You can knock your knees apart, sink hips to heels, walk your palms out, a little behind the scenes hip opener. So find whatever you want, remembering that you can move throughout class. Yeah, we're not statues here in our yoga pose. Not a game of red light, green light, right? You can move as much as you need. Exploring maybe stillness or continuing to move. Tenting up on your fingertips, gently shaking your hips here, side to side, tucking your tail up and around, bending through one elbow, and then the other, a gentle side body stretch. So whether you're exploring stillness or movement here on the mat today, do so with intention. A deep, energetic, active breath in, and a complete breath out. One more. Explore with me, puppy pose. Shifting forward, railroad track hands and knees. So we're on our forearms, toes and knees fall away from one another here, just about 2 fist width distance between palms, between feet. Nudge your knees under your hips. Push the mat away as head falls now to the mat in between your elbows. Now for some of my yogis, puppy pose, or these postures here, even child's pose, might feel a bit claustrophobic. You might feel like you need a little more room to breathe or space. That's a perfect time to use your yoga blocks, or as always, find a pose that works best for you in the meantime. As you actively push the mat away, shoot your hips here up and high toward the ceiling, and take one more deep breath. Exhale, let's meet in tabletop. Tuck your toes under, active toes, and let's come to down dog. Hips come high, knees up off the mat, push the mat away. Active breath. Pedal out your feet, wonderful work, yogis. And explore down dog. What sensation comes up for you here? Do you have a sensation through the front of your chest? Through your hamstrings, maybe take a generous bend in your knees. Again, feeling this long line here from the crown of your head to the tip of your tail. And join me simply as you grow heavy through right heel, bend through left knee. Gentle hamstring stretch to the opposite side. Grow heavy through left heel, bend through right knee. Nice work. Now come back through down dog. A perfect example of exploring our yoga practice occurs in this very transition. So come to 3-legged dog, right leg rises. Look to the top of your mat, and with creating any space without shifting your upper body forward, try to step your right foot in between your hands. Now, if you're like me, nothing happens. So let's create that space. Shift shoulders over wrists, look up and over your fingertips here, and then tuck knee to chest, push the mat away, protraction of shoulders, high on our back toes, and step up, warrior 2. Whoo-wee, so much going on. Warrior 2 legs, right toes face the front of the mat. Left foot parallel with the back of your mat. And join me as we find this funky windshield wipering, windmilling of our arms. Here we are. Of course, you don't have to get so cinematic with it, but if it helps, it certainly helps me. So here in our yoga practice, Warrior 2, what I urge you to do, again, exploring, feeling into the hips here. So, we talk a lot about alignment in yoga, but all of our bodies are so different and we're starting from one place that's different from each other, right? So I just want you to feel what feels best on your hip sockets here. Certainly we can work toward a common alignment, but more than anything, I want you to feel comfortable as you begin your yoga practice. In a way, we're cutting the mat in half with our heels, so right and left heel are in line. Opening our hips here to the long edge of the mat. And options for your arms as always. Palms at heart, low back, active at your sides, goal posted, reaching out. A deep breath in. Exhale and sink. Hug into the midline. Stack shoulders over hips. Active belly here. And extend your arms out. Let's find extended side angle pose. Dropping your right forearm in line with your shin and left palm up. Now, my yogis, if you recognize that your hips are no longer open and squared with the long edge of your mat, maybe left hip is gently falling down as you come into this and left arm is following as well, then you don't bring your arm in line with your shin, stack up a little higher, and here you are. Again, exploring this. For my yogis who feel they can go deeper, maybe you place a block here under your palm. So wherever you are, take a deep breath and exhale out. And we'll come into a forward fold. So warrior two, palms at your hips, turn your toes toward one another here, again facing the long edge of your mat. Toes turn in, heels turn out. How does this feel on knees, on hips? On inhale, look up. On exhale and fold. For some of my yogis, if you're buckling here in the knees, that's no worry. Take a deep breath. Find this flat spine. Gently bend through the knees. Here's where you are. For my yogis who can get a little deeper, leading with that proud chest, you're welcome to do that. Or you can begin to practice your splits here, taking a wide stance. So many modifications. Here for 2 inhales. And explore this sensation at the back of your thighs. Option to take a gentle bind, maybe palms to the outstep of your feet, gently pulling yourself down. Maybe a gentle twist, one palm to the mat, opposite palm up high. Or maybe swaying here from side to side, grabbing one palm to the opposite ankle, and again, a gentle twist. Nice work, guys. Take another breath. And we'll come back to standing here. Heel toe your toes in toward one another. Warrior two to the opposite side. Right foot is parallel with the back of your mat and left toes face the front here, yeah? Open your hips to the long edge of your mat. Options for your palms, you guys know. 2 inhales. Exploring whether it be stillness, finding stability here in this pose, or whether it be, finding movement with our sassy hip back. Nice work, guys. Extended side angle. So pop quiz, yogis, if your hip is falling down, don't forget, square your hip with the long edge of the mat and simply raise on up a little. We're working toward it, right? We certainly don't want to push ourselves. Pushing ourselves in yoga means we start from ground zero. So take a deep breath. One more. Exhale, rise on up. Warrior two. Nice work. Come on back to face the front of your mat. We'll come to mountain pose, big toes touch, palms active at your side. Tadasana, mountain pose, a deep breath. And finding a chaturanga transition, again, simply exploring. So inhale, reach your palms up. Exhale, fold. Inhale to a half lift. Some of my yogis who do not have a high plank to low plank transition in their practice might simply step back, down dog. For my yogis who already know where we're going, step back to your chaturanga, hug your elbows in, fronts of your elbows face the top of your mat, hugging elbows into low ribs, and gently shift down, push the mat away for cobra or up dog to down dog. Nice work, guys, and certainly we'll revisit that. But most of all, if there's any transition, I want you guys to feel comfortable finding a modification that works for you. Whether it be stepping back, down dog, knees to the mat. Here in down dog, take another deep breath and look toward the top as you come down to seated. Nice work, guys. Here from seated, recline on back with me. Hugging everything in. Finding one happy baby pose, thighs parallel with the mat. Find ankle circles, grabbing the outstep of your thigh or your feet. And then yogis will meet in Shavasana, a quick exploration of several standing postures here on our mat. So now in Shavasana, take this quiet moment with me here, remembering that if you'd like, you're always welcome to find more movement now that your mat is rolled out. You can find a meditation or take this quiet moment in Shavasana. Yogis, do note that the video will end. I will see you in the next video very soon. I think all too often when we come to our yoga poses, especially if we've been practicing for some time, we're not necessarily exploring with a beginner's mindset. And so what I urge you to do here on the mat today is to, whether it be finding that transition, that modification that works for your body rather than forcing it, but to also put a different emphasis on the parts of our body that support us. So here in particular, think about your palms, yeah? So I'll quick come into a toe stand to show you guys. What you want to anticipate through your yoga practice is that if you have, delicate wrists or ankles, that you might need to strengthen them, of course, outside of your yoga practice so that you feel more comfortable flowing. But you also want to put emphasis here on where exactly you are supporting yourself. If you're dumping weight here into the butt of your palm, into your wrist, you're going to feel strain, tension. So instead, consider, some of my yoga teachers have said, as if you're opening a pickle jar, unscrewing a lid. What you want to have is almost like claw hands here on the mat. You want this little part of your palm, the inside part, to be lifted, gently lifted, and you want to place the weight here for support at the bottoms of your fingers and along the bed of your thumb. Yeah? So do that with me here as we come through tabletop, creating this claw hand, this pickle opening jar hand, as well as we're starting foundationally, right? Pushing the mat away to get this protraction of shoulders. So your shoulders are literally coming away from one another, creating this support. So if you notice how much space, right, little challenge here within the challenge, how much space can you make between your chest and the mat? If you're here with your chest falling in between your shoulders, not active, right? Almost envision as if it were raining, that you'd have this pool of water in the middle of your shoulders. So you want to push the mat away. We're starting from our palms, pushing the mat away now into our shoulders, chin to neutral, just this one long line that runs from the crown of our head to the tip of our tail. Tuck your toes under. Gently activate core here, low ribs pull in, like your hips are a bowl losing water. You got that, America's Next Top Model little Tucci butt here. So instead, tuck everything in.